All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, we're gonna be going over an A to Z masterclass on targeting on Meta ads, okay? So everything that you need to know on how to target your ideal prospects and your ideal audience, we're gonna cover in this video. So my name's Evan Seach. Real quick, I run an advertising agency called Sell More Online. We work with some of the biggest household name brands in the coaching space, info products, B2B, agency world, even some real estate funds and syndications. So again, in today's video, I'm gonna talk about everything from A to Z that you need to know on how to target the right people on Facebook. And if you're getting bad leads, this video is going to help you with that, because it's going to help you be able to sit down, understand who you actually want to target and how to actually target them. So it's gonna be a very tactical video. Let's dive in. So there's really a couple ways to influence targeting on the platform. So first is going to be the actual creative itself, okay? So the creative is made up of a couple different components. And if you haven't watched my Mastering Andromeda video yet on YouTube, you need to watch that, because it's going to go way deeper into Andromeda and how to follow best practices on the ad platform nowadays. But as everyone knows, the creative does the majority of the targeting. So basically the theme of the creative or the topic, the actual messaging in the ad, so what the heck you actually say in the ad, and the visuals of the ad. So your environment, what props you have, how you look, how you convey yourself, stuff like that all factors into your targeting. So Meta basically looks at your campaign objective, which we're going to get into in a few here, your creative itself, what you say, how it looks, and also the past history in your account, which is why pixel conditioning is so key. And we're going to get into that too here. And it looks at all these things combined and basically says, okay, Evan gave us this ad with this visual, this theme, this set of messaging. He has previously in the account, these types of people have converted based upon this campaign objective and this standard event. And also at the same time, he's telling us to optimize around this campaign objective and this standard event, or custom event if you go with that. But basically Meta looks at all that and says, okay, awesome. Based upon all of that, I think these people over here are most probable to convert with this ad. And then these people over here are most probable to convert with this ad. And it serves it, right? So we have to really trust the algorithm when we're doing our targeting. And it all starts with having the right creative. So the right theme, the right messaging, and the right visual. So how do you actually do that? This is an exercise I do with every single client. All of our inner circle students do this as well. And it helps so much just get clear on who you're actually selling to and what they want to actually hear from you, right? So first, what you're gonna wanna do is sit down and write out the different avatars that you sell to. So the different types of people that you sell to. So this could be like SaaS startups who are running ads. And you can get even more granular, right? Running ads at 500 per day plus. So that could be avatar 1, then avatar 2. And say for the sake of this example, I'm an ad agency. I sell advertising services to SaaS companies, right? So avatar 2 can be SaaS startups not running ads. Avatar 3 maybe could be more like upmarket, established SaaS companies that are not running ads. Right? So you need to write out all these avatars that you actually want to target. Here's the thing. If you're not getting good lead quality through your ads, guess what? You just have to simply do this exercise and really think, okay, who do I want to sell to? Who do I want coming through the funnel? Because most of you guys out there that are not getting good leads, your messaging is either just speaking directly to poor people or people that are outside of your ideal customer profile, or you're just slinging out, we will do X for you and X and X, and you're not articulating anything, any pain points, any desires, any current circumstance that an affluent demographic that you want to reach is experiencing and dealing with right now. You're just not. So if you sit down and actually do this exercise that we're going to still go through, it's going to help you a lot. So first off, write down all your avatars. Might be 1, might be 5, right? Write them all down, who you want to target. Then we're going to make bullet points under these avatars here that are essentially articulating an individual pain point, desire, outcome they want, case study articulation or proof point about your service that would help them, or some sort of real-time scenario or current circumstance that they find themselves in. And really when you chalk it all up, these here are just reasons why somebody that is in this case, a SaaS startup that's running ads at 500 plus per day should buy your product or service. Right? So it's somebody running at 500 plus per day. Maybe they're just tired of like the agency hopping. Maybe they keep hitting revenue walls every time they try to scale their spend. Maybe they're getting bad lead quality overall. Maybe they're getting bad lead quality as they try to scale spend. Maybe they're getting bad demo show rates. Maybe their payback period is just getting super elongated through ads, right? And we sit there and we can come up with as many reasons as we possibly can think of, okay? That's what we want to do. And these are all individualized themes of why this person here should buy our product or service. So then what do we do from here? Guess what? Each one of these is an ad. And for each avatar, you can layer on as many as you possibly can think of. Like sometimes I get this to the point where it's like 20 to upwards of 50 per avatar. And this is just a ridiculous amount of ads and creatives that we can feed into the algorithm. And that's gonna help us with our targeting, because Meta, literally with the Andromeda update, and again, watch that video because it's gonna help you so much. I'm not just farming for views. I'm telling you, it helps a ton. Meta is literally saying with the Andromeda update, we want you to feed us a bunch of creatives and allow us to essentially look at that creative, sift through everything, and serve it to the right person that's most probable to convert at that current time, given again your messaging, past history in the account, and the event that you chose to optimize around. So again, these will all be individualized ads right here. Each one of these. We're not doing hook and body variation. So we're not doing like 10 hooks on one body or 15 hooks on one body. It's not diversified enough. Nowadays, the platform thrives off of creative diversity. So you cannot make ads that are similar and way too similar. If you do that, Meta will literally penalize you. There is a thing that's going to be rolled out on Meta in the ads manager that is literally called creative similarity. So it's going to look at your ads and say, okay, this ad is too similar to this one. And it's going to penalize you with high CPMs, high ad costs, instability, and just overall not a good time on the ad platform. So each of these is going to be an individual hook, body, CTA. This one here will be its own hook, body, CTA. And yeah, guess what? This is going to take more work, my friend. But if you actually do it, you're going to succeed and you're going to do way better. So put the freaking work in. Don't be lazy. All right. So we want to sit there initially and film anywhere from honestly about 30 to 50 ads, individualized ads, and get them edited. And we're going to launch in a new ad set with anywhere from about 15 to 30 is what we're seeing work really well. And now going back to the creative, the actual visuals of your ad. The visuals of your ad is something that a lot of people overlook, and the actual environment and how you portray yourself in the ad. So we had a client that was selling to roofers and stuff, like roofers, HVAC, a lot of home service companies, so electricians, plumbers, stuff like that. And he was filming a bunch of ads, and I use this example a lot because it really just encapsulates everything super well. And he was filming a bunch of ads in a studio like this, right? He looked like an agency owner. He looked like an info product marketer and stuff like that. And he was having a tough time getting people to stop and really listen to his message. And all we did was we told him to essentially just look the part and act the part as someone who, resonates with and understands these local home service people. And what we told him to do was basically say, all right, get rid of the info product looking background, go outside. He has a dope Chevy truck. Go outside, get the nice collared polo shirt that every single home service person has, and then park literally in a Home Depot and film ads there, okay? Truck in the background that all these local home service people resonate with. He has that collared shirt that looks like he's one of them, and he's got a hardware store in the background. Those ripped, absolutely ripped. And of course, we focused on having diverse messaging in the ads, but the visuals matched who he's selling to. That is super, super key. Your environment is a lot. And also at the same time, we had him use different visual disruptors in the hook and through the body. Some of the best ads on all the accounts that we run have the most engaging hooks and the most engaging body. They use different props. They have different cut scenes. The person's doing something kind of weird in the hook sometimes, or funny, or just adding curiosity, or like as they're talking, they're maybe just like putting something down like this, or kind of like moving around, putting their phone over here, like just something to grab attention and get people to stop scrolling. That is super key. And don't make it like weird and not tasteful. You can do all this in a very tasteful way, but just don't be like this, talking like this, totally like this, very generic ad, very boring messaging, monotone. Don't do that, okay? Try to be creative with your ads. Sit there and do this exercise and come up with the messaging points, the themes and the topics of the ads. Write out the individualized ad so the messaging in the ad is diverse across every single ad. And you're feeding Meta and Andromeda with a bunch of different creatives that can use to target the right people. And at the same time, you're using different visuals in the ads to target different people. So different people also will resonate with different visuals. There's going to be different things that you can put inside of your ads that are going to pull different people. You know, if you have like cars in one ad or something like that, like supercars, it's going to pull a demographic of people that love supercars. If you have dogs in one, it's going to pull people that love dogs and stuff, right? The algorithm is super sophisticated. It's going to get people to stop that resonate with that certain thing. Also, the creator itself. So there's a lot of e-com brands that do this, but not a lot of like info brands do it. If you want to reach certain different types of people, try changing up the creators. So I was scrolling through Instagram and there was a company that was selling basically like a water filtration system. And it was kind of crazy because my girlfriend got the same ad and it was somebody that was her age and was a female. And then I got somebody that was basically a UFC fighter promoting this. And I was like, interesting. Okay, it's going to reach different types of people. If I saw that woman, I probably wouldn't have stopped. If she saw the UFC guy, she probably wouldn't have stopped. And also at the same time, I looked at their ad library. They have people that look like dads. They have mothers that are talking about different ways like, hey, I was giving my kids a bunch of water and stuff like this that was all jacked up. You know, here's 5 things that really changed my whole life and my kids' life by switching to this water filtration system and all that. It was like different messaging targeting moms in that case, different visuals, different creators, stuff like that is huge. Most of you guys out there in the B2B space, you guys think that just putting some like hot chick in an ad is like doing this. It's like, okay, sometimes it might get a better stop rate or something like that, but is it actually going to drive conversions? No, because it doesn't resonate with your actual target audience. You know, it's look the part. That's the key part. If you pull in creators, make sure they look like the person you're trying to target and they can speak to them properly. That's the key part. So the creative is a huge component of targeting. Now, number 2 is the actual campaign objective plus standard event. So say, for example, this is the total population of people that you can target at any given time, given your set of messaging. Okay, obviously we know messaging, we just talked about that. It can help you reach different types of people based upon what you say and what the ad looks like. But right here, let's just say based upon your messaging, this is the total amount of people that you can target at any given time. So what we can do on Meta is we can essentially initially choose our objective for the campaign. So like awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. Okay, so whatever you choose out of the campaign objective will have an impact on who Meta is going to serve your ads to and what pockets of people it's going to serve it to. So for example, I never buy stuff off of Facebook, like ever. So I rarely get e-com ads and ads served to me that are optimized around a purchase objective. On the flip side, I get a lot of call funnels. I opt into call funnels all the time, different lead forms, stuff like that. So I get a lot of stuff that's around the lead campaign objective. So I get a lot of ads and campaigns that are optimized around that and selected for that on the campaign level. Now, if you want like trash traffic, guess what? Use something like traffic. Okay, like if you use a traffic campaign objective, which some of you guys are right now, because you're like, oh, I want a lot of people to land on my landing page. It's not the right people, right? Some different campaign objectives can completely affect in a drastic manner the quality of the person that you are targeting and who you are targeting. So we want to be optimizing around high quality campaign objectives, so like leads or sales for our conversion driven campaigns. You know, we're not talking about like content remarketing, our conversion driven campaigns. And then we want to choose standard events on the ad set level that we are going to optimize those campaigns around that are also high quality. So I'll get into some examples here. But basically say your messaging is, I will help you fix your show rates, okay? And these are all the people on Meta that will resonate with how to fix your show rates. Now, if you run an ad, you're not gonna reach all these people at once. It's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is Meta's gonna say, all right, cool. Say Evan fed us an ad that says he's gonna help people fix show rates, and it's optimized around the lead campaign objective, and he's optimizing for the schedule standard event. Cool. So Meta's gonna look at all the users on its platform and say, all right, awesome. These people are most probable to convert with the leads campaign objective and the schedule standard event, and also this set of messaging. And it's going to say, all right, cool. We're going to serve to these people here because these people are people that essentially are most probable to convert, again, based upon this campaign objective, this standard event that Meta was given, and this set of messaging. Now, what we could do also is we could optimize around something like submit application, which is still a bottom of funnel standard event that is high quality. Now, some people, because each profile is different and Meta knows this, there are different profiles that essentially are more apt to opt in around different funnel types and different standard event types. So for example, again, I book calls all the time on Meta. So most of the time, those campaigns are optimized around the schedule standard event and the leads campaign objective. So I'm gonna get served ads that, guess what, are optimized around those things more than something like lead or complete registration or app install or donate. Whereas some people on the other side might opt in to stuff that is submit application all the time. So what this will do is this will open you up to another audience segment here of people that would resonate with this set of messaging, this campaign objective, and this standard event. Then you can do it, for complete registration, right? Maybe that opens you up to this here. Now, maybe say that we widen up our messaging and we also use the schedule standard event again. This might now open up this pool here to maybe like this, just by changing our messaging and who we're talking to. You see how all these things play into each other? But overall, just know that the standard event that you optimize around and choose and the campaign objective can make a drastic impact on who you target. So you want to stick to leads or sales if you're doing that, or app install, that's also high quality if you're doing app campaigns. But then we want to optimize around high quality standard events. So high quality standard events like schedule, submit application, complete registration, and you want to optimize for the furthest bottom of funnel event that you can. So for example, if we have this sort of funnel where we have an opt-in page, which I don't really like doing anyways, where you collect like name, phone number, email, then the VSL page, then an application page, which again, I would never do this type of funnel, but I like VSL call funnels, but not fragmented like this with so many steps. Then we have schedule, and then maybe we'll have the confirmation page here. What some of you guys do is you break your funnel out like this, and you'll put like the lead standard event here, right? Because somebody opted in here and they went to here and now they're a lead. Then you'll have like page view or something, like content view. Then you'll have submit app over here after somebody submitted the application. Then you'll have schedule down here. First off, this is a ridiculous funnel, but anyways, some of you guys are like, well, I want to get a lot of volume on the pixel, so I'm going to optimize around this here. And here's the thing, the whole objective of your campaign is to get scheduled calls, okay? Scheduled calls. So optimize around this, right? If you optimize around this here, all you're doing is you're telling Meta, I want more of these people, because whatever hits that results column is what Meta is going to go after more. So basically, if you're getting a bunch of people that just hit this page, and sure, some of them will trickle through, but you're literally Meta, all it looks at is like, all right, cool. Evan's telling me to optimize around this. I'm getting these people that are firing off lead. So he must be super happy because he's still spending money with us. So I'm just going to keep finding more people that are like these people here that are hitting this page and hitting this standard event and reporting back to the results column. And literally you're just optimizing around people that only fill this out and land on this page. Okay. Now, if you're optimizing around this here, you're optimizing around people that filled this out, landed here, submitted an application, scheduled a call, and landed here. Higher quality person. It's actually what you want. So optimize around what you want. And ideally, you have a good amount of volume, right? So ideally, you're getting at a bare minimum like 20 conversions a week on this, but ideally, you're getting upwards of about 50 plus conversions a week. So if you don't have that, it's totally cool. Just make sure to like have more patience with your campaigns. It's really it. So just make sure you got to just give these things more time to breathe. If you guys are out there running ads with like 150 to like $200, then just let things spend some more, accumulate things, get a couple closed deals through the door, and just chuck cash back into ads aggressively for the first like 30 to 90 days. And then you're going to get to a point where you're printing calls. So I just tell you these numbers because, there's no like perfect science, but usually like that's lately what we're seeing is once we start to get like 20 conversions on a certain event every single week, it's like, all right, now these campaigns are starting to pick up some juice here and we're starting to really print and they're doing really well and they're finding great pockets. The result volume's going up, the cost is dropping. So once we see kind of like that start to hit, it crushes. But again, it's not like a mandatory thing. If you're watching this and you're like, I only have a limited budget to run ads with, and like, man, if I'm getting, $100 calls and stuff or $200 calls, let's say, I need 20 of them, like, dude, that's $4,000. I don't have that budget and stuff. It's totally fine. Like I said, just make sure that you have more patience with your campaigns. That's it. And that you dial in your messaging and you're still, even on a low budget, feeding in a high volume of creatives into your ad sets. And again, still optimize around the highest quality standard event that you actually are trying to go after. And again, if you're watching this and you're newer and you're like, man, if I have to book out, 20 calls, you're telling me now at $200 a call every single week, like I don't have $4,000 to spend on ads per week. Like that's so much. Again, don't worry about it. It's not an exact science. I'm not telling you need to have that. I'm just saying it's ideal. That's over time what you want to strive for. You want to strive for, honestly, this number here, but that's what you want to essentially strive for. But we still have campaigns all the freaking time that have a limited budget and just print cash and they crush and they're not hitting that off the gate. So totally fine. Just understand that you have to have more patience with your campaigns. And whenever you get those first few deals that you close, just take off a bunch of cash from that. Like obviously take your cost of fulfillment, but just take the rest of that cash, honestly, and just funnel it back into ads and scale up so you can get to that point super quick. And again, even with that limited budget, just make sure that you are launching 15 to 30 individualized, diverse ads per ad set. So the next thing that influences your targeting is your pixel conditioning, or essentially like the past data in the account. So we obviously only want to report back qualified people into the actual ad platform. That's all we want to report back. So usually what we do is we'll have like a type form here, like type form plus Calendly combo is what we like. Sometimes we use Chili Piper too. We've been experimenting with that lately, but basically if they're qualified, they go down one route. If they're DQ'd, they go down one route. This one, you could send them down a liquidation route, or you can just have them book on like a deprioritized calendar if you still want to talk to them, or you can just, say, hey, we received your application. We'll reach out if it's a fit. Then these people over here report back to the ad platform. So those are what hit the actual results column, because after somebody books in on the qualified route, this is where we have the schedule standard event code. We do not have it down here. So we only report back qualified people into the actual results column on Meta. So Meta further optimizes around that. So whatever Meta sees hitting the results column, that's who it's going after next. So always keep that in mind. So we want to condition the pixel with qualified people only. Now, if you're running this here with the actual browser event and the pixel, so the standard event code on your confirmation page, and you're getting kind of results, switch over to the conversion API and just manually report people back, whether it's people that you mark as qualified from your CRM, like, offers made, or like SQLs, or you have a setter that's essentially calling these leads right when they opt in and marking them, yep, they're qualified even before the sales call. That's something you can do too. You can use something like LeadFi that essentially can pull like the FICO scores, which is kind of crazy, the FICO scores and like, I think like the cash readiness or something like that from the leads that come through your funnel. And if they're qualified, you could fire them back through the conversion API. Or simply, if you just have a low match rate here with the schedule standard event, just switch the conversion API to fire back people right when they book anyways. So still have like your actual application that filters people out. But again, if you see people like lying, or you see inconsistent quality with that, or if you see just essentially a low match rate, then switch over to the conversion API. So who you feed back into the ad platform is who you're probable to target next. So just always keep that in mind. We want to keep clean, high quality data going back into the ad account at all times. And then finally, these are getting a little bit more dated, but your targeting options, there's still stuff that we're able to do inside the actual ads manager. Like, of course, most things we default to like broad targeting with, but we're still going to run different cold interest stacks. We're still going to run different warm interest stacks. So like page engagers, followers, video viewers, all this stuff. We can still do that. We can still like a warm audience stack. And then what I've been liking to do lately, by the way, too, is just go like completely cold on campaigns. So we'll exclude like the warm interest stacks and just go completely cold on a campaign as a test, because that's going to basically get rid of all like the warm retargeting and stuff like that. And it just ensures that you are reaching totally cold people. And of course, you can have like lookalikes that you run as well. Usually we'll start with like 1% and then we'll go up to like 3% if we want to keep expanding. If we really want to like scale into something and it's, we've already blown through a bunch of lookalike audience lists and we're at like huge spends, then like sometimes we'll experiment with like 5% plus, but quality gets kind of there. It's almost like broad targeting with a little nudge at that point. But again, you have broad targeting you could choose, interest stack, which is cold, where you just layer on a bunch of different interests, demographic traits, and behaviors that our target market resonates with and we think fits them. Warm interest stack, then just totally cold campaigns. So by cold, it's literally like excluding the warm audiences, and then also lookalike. So all those things together really determines who you are most probable to reach on the ad platform and target, and who's most probable to convert on your ad campaigns. Now, the creative is huge, the theme, the messaging, the visuals you use, but also we got to make sure that we're choosing the right campaign objective and standard event that we're trying to optimize around, so we can just get high quality people that are most likely to convert on that event with our set of messaging. Then we always want to be pixel conditioning and feeding back clean data into the ad account. So ideally like high quality CRM data. And then also targeting options, we can influence the algorithm a little bit there. And if you don't want to think about any of this stuff, by the way, you just want us to run your ads completely done for you, there's a link down in the description below that explains our offer in detail. And then also, if you are someone who's running your own ads and you don't want to hand over the keys and you want to learn how we run ads super profitably at scale and want us to basically handhold you and guide you in our consulting program, the link to join our Inner Circle program is down below. And again, if you haven't watched that Meta Andromeda video, it's right here. So make sure to check that out and drop a subscribe for some more sauce. Peace.